Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear Darlie. Should we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where it's one, an early episode, and two, it's going to be a much more inactive episode where I'm just going to be painting my nails, to be honest, today, because I was meant to do them last night, but then we ended up playing Lethal Company instead, so I didn't. But yeah, I mean, I spoke a little bit about it before, but I was going to go, I've just got my morning voice, like, ugh, that we're going to go ice skating today with friends, and we are, so it'll be a fun time, hopefully. But it also means I need to, well, I don't need to paint my nails, but I do want to paint my nails because I was thinking about doing it, but then I hadn't done it for ages. And okay, good morning, everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 11:37 a.m. on Saturday, December 16th, 2023. I mean, the thing I wanted to talk about probably was I was going to talk about the Steam Awards because the nominees have now been announced. If you don't know, Steam is like a gaming platform, and the Steam Awards are sort of like a community-based award ceremony where the only thing I'm going to do is check my Nook Mile streak, and then we'll be done with that. It's a community-based sort of like nominees and awards, or that sort of thing, where you can nominate whatever you want, and then I guess the five most popular ones for each category get nominated. Although I will say this year it looks like, I'm not sure if this happened every year, but it seems like that every game can only be nominated a maximum of twice, and it can only be twice if it's also nominated for Game of the Year. And I had a look through them this morning, and I was just like, what on earth are some of these choices? It's honestly very strangely bizarre, but I suppose this will be a sort of reflection on the games played this year. Let's have a sit down. Yeah. While I start painting my nails. So we can start with Game of the Year. If you're wondering how I'm painting my nails, I'm going to be using, of course, my Essie nail polish. I don't know what colour this is. An Aruba Blue on 4th and 5th fingers. A Lapis of Luxury on 3rd and 2nd. And then I'll be using Marshmallow on the 1st. I will say, I need to different... I should probably get different white nail polish, because this one is so liquidy, so runny. I already done my base coat, so let's get to it. It's also really dark in here. I need to let in the sunlight. I'm going to move my drawing tablet. Well, I just knocked my water bottle off. Move my drawing tablet slightly so I can allow some sunlight at least onto my fingertips. But yeah, the Game of the Year awards, some of them not surprising. Baldur's Gate 3, fair enough. Hogwarts Legacy, surprising, but it's sort of I heard it's good, but not amazing is probably how to describe it. Let's actually have my microphone pointing towards me, otherwise you can't hear me. I heard it's good, but not amazing. I think it's very much carried by the brand itself, because it's probably the best Harry Potter game out there or something. I've never played it, so it's hypocritical, I suppose, of me to judge it on a critical merit if I've got no experience of it whatsoever. It's just kind of what I've heard. But I hear basically, if you are a fan of a franchise, you will absolutely love it. Wow, that's a really nice, just one stroke on my pinky finger, and it looked amazing. Resident Evil 4. I haven't heard. I think I heard it was good. I don't know. It just sort of surprised me as Game of the Year. I'm trying to remember what was nominated in the Game Awards, to be honest, or what even won. Maybe I should do that as a comparison. Oh, this one was not as good. I'm going to be perfectly honest. But Baldur's Gate 3 is obviously going to win. I mean, if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 and you're not planning to play it, then I would recommend at least considering it. It's a very good game. Especially if it's your first sort of foray into these sort of RPG-esque tabletop RPG video games. I forgot what they're called. CRPGs, right? Computer RPGs. It's pretty good. Now, mind-bogglingly, somehow FIFA is on here, which is interesting. I think I have a unique perspective on FIFA because FIFA is insanely popular in the UK, unbelievably popular. I mean, football, soccer for Americans, I suppose, is very popular in Europe in general. I don't know how popular it necessarily is in other European countries, but FIFA is so insanely popular in UK, where I'd say the average game, the teen to young adult audience plays, at least in the male demographic probably, is almost certainly Call of Duty and FIFA. Just those two. They're so unbelievably popular. They're the only games that people played, I remember. The boys played back in secondary school. Which, I'm not going to say is necessarily bad or anything. It's obviously you're going to play things which appeal to you. Part of me does wonder how many other games people would enjoy if they just gave them, a bit of a shot. But Yeah, it's not my place to be like, yo, go play some different games. I remember actually I did like a graphics project back in year 9 maybe, year 10. I can't remember, about video games. It was about the history of video games, but when to do your actual project you had to like do like market research sort of thing, where you had to find out information etc about it before you start like writing and planning it. And I remember one thing I did was I basically asked everyone in my class what their favorite video game slash video game series was, and I think Call of Duty won by like a. I'm not sure if it was actually a landslide. It was surprisingly not as much of a landslide as I thought. I don't remember what other people said. I don't remember what I said. I think I said Portal was my favorite game. Portal 2. I mean, Portal 2 is a very good game. I played through the co-op campaign like 5 times now because that's how much I enjoyed it. Different people each time. Maybe not 5 times. Maybe that's too many. I think all my nail polish right now is very liquidy. This blue is not covering exactly as I hoped, but whatever. Thin layers. And let it dry. Because if you do too thick a layer, just telling you now, it's far too easily dented. Which doesn't look good. Yeah, so Lethal Company is also here, which is just like an extreme recency bias. Like I think Lethal Company is a fun game. Do I think it's Game of the Year material? Probably not. But Game of the Year, I suppose, it depends on your metrics of defining it. To me, Game of the Year feels like something would be like, in most people's eyes, objectively, would be considered a good game. That's kind of how I think of Game of the Year. And Lethal Company is one I would say, objectively, has a lot of flaws with it, but is still a really fun time. But the game, like Lethal Company, I don't think is bad through necessarily design. It's more just through like clunkiness of play, which kind of adds to the element. It's kind of something which helps in horror games to sell the atmosphere of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's also nominated, to be fair, for like Better with Friends, which I definitely think it should win for that because it's very fun. We're playing it last night, I was saying. I'm a little bit worried though, that Lethal Company is starting to get to the point where I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to get like kind of bored of this. I was like teetering on going back for between like some boring moments and some more interesting moments last night when I was playing. I think, I was actually having a think about this because I think about things a lot. It's probably because the gameplay, once you've discovered basically everything, is very just like exploration based, which is not exactly things I find very interesting. But I do like the communication part, like with walkie-talkies and that sort of thing. And if anything, I think it's slightly better than Among Us in this regard because, proximity chat means I can actually hang out with my friends and still, like, chat with them most of the time. Rather than, in Among Us, the biggest problem I had with it was, like, basically hanging out with my friends, except for we weren't allowed to talk except for only in these meetings, which I was like, that's not what I want to do when I want to hang out with my friends. To be honest, but everyone's different. I don't mean to impart that like my view is superior or something to anyone else's. It's just what I personally prefer, which is why I tend to prefer these sort of mindless games, which can be background noise as the main stage is chatting. And you might be like, dear darling, it sounds like you just kind of want tea parties. And ideally, yes, I do. If all my friends were just like, hey, let's just have tea parties from now on, I'd be like, absolutely, I'm all down for that. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna vote for Baldur's Gate 3 probably out of that list because Baldur's Gate 3 is a really good game, and I've only played 2 of the games. VR Game of the Year is probably a lot harder because I've not played any of these VR games, but I've heard of I Expect You to Die 3. I don't know if it's any good, but I guess I'll vote anyway. Labor of Love has some of the stranger ones, I would say. Like, why is Red Dead Redemption 2 on here? I thought there's no more updates for it. I thought it hasn't been updated for about like 4 years now. Dota 2, I can see, it's been like getting reasonably frequent updates. And Apex, I think Apex has been getting a lot of updates, and Deep Rock Galactic makes sense. Rust, I don't really know, but I mean, if it's got the staying power until now, I suppose it's been getting updates frequently. I played Apex and Dota. I think that's it. I might vote for Apex, I don't know. It seems like it's doing pretty well for itself. Is it still fun? Probably. Just because it's not my jam, baby, doesn't mean I cannot appreciate the labour of love that went into it. It's just funny because I think like Terraria has been the labour of love like nominee I voted for like for the past 6 years or something, but it's not on this one because I don't think it's had an update recently. I think there is quote unquote the final updates coming soon. You know, the sixth final update. Yeah, it's okay. I'm getting a lot better at painting my nails. Significantly less spillage, I would say. So I don't know, Apex maybe? Like, I try and only vote for games which I've actually played, but, you know, sometimes you don't really get that option. Best game on Steam Deck award is very strange. Like, I can understand Brotato being on here. It seems like a sort of game which makes sense to be played on, like, a portable device or that sort of thing. Hogwarts Legacy I find surprising on here. I don't know if I'd want to play that on... Oh, it's Steam Deck, not Steam... Wait, hold on. Steam Deck is a handheld thing, right? Ooh! Oh... I knocked over some nail polish and it nearly spilled, but luckily the lid was on it, which is why we have lids, I suppose. Steam Deck. Which one's a Steam Deck? I nearly just did it again. I should not put this right next to my mouse. It's a very dumb idea. Yeah, Steam Deck is a handheld thing. What's the one which allows you to play it on other different TV things? Steam. Such Steam product, we'll see. Steam Link. That's what I was going to get confused with. I don't know if I'd play Diablo or Hogwarts Legacy on a Steam Deck. I don't know if a Steam Deck's got the processing power for those much more high-intensity games. Oh no. This light blue, I've not chipped it slightly, but I've messed up its layering. Un poco. Okay, we'll do that. It'll have a bit of striations on it, but still. Dredge I can see. Outlast Trials. That looks like a VR game. Is this a VR game? I don't know. Maybe I'll vote for Dredge. Dredge seems pretty cool. Anyway, Better with Friends. Party Animals makes sense. Lethal Company makes sense. Dark Tide. I don't know. Sons of Forest. Is this a horror? Oh no, it's this like survival-esque game. Sunken Land. Is this multiplayer Subnautica? I don't really know. It's got guns in it? What? Anyway, I'm voting for Lethal Company on that. Being the only game I played in. Honestly, it is a lot of fun with friends. Better with Friends. I can't imagine playing Lethal Company by yourself. I mean, I guess I can see it as like a challenge thing, but I feel like it's very much designed to be a cooperative sort of fun time with people, isn't it? I don't know. Kind of depends what you like. Maybe you like the thrill of trying to survive and by yourself, with no one to back you up, that sort of thing. Totally fair. Outstanding visual style. This one, the one I'm going to vote for is Cocoon. That is something I need to add to my wishlist. I've heard really good things about Cocoon. In fact, let's add it to my wishlist now. I don't even know what it is. I've just heard really good things about it, and it looked really pretty. So I was like, you got me hooked. It's an adventure puzzle exploration game. So I guess along the lines of like Tunic sort of thing. Anyway, it looks visually very nice. Anyway, put it on there. High on Life? Interesting. High on Life is like the Justin Roiland game, isn't it? The Rick and Morty game. Despite the fact it's not Rick and Morty, but I think that's what everyone calls it anyway. The only thing I've heard about it is people did not find it as funny. Oh, Darkest Dungeon's on here. Darkest Dungeon 2. That's true. Darkest Dungeon has a very cool style as well. In fact, maybe a style I prefer over Cocoon. Atomic Heart's like this Russian one with like, is very, very sexually charged, if I recall. That's the only thing I remember about it. And Inward I've never even heard of. You can grow your own sanctuary, sure. Now, innovative gameplay, I sort of just went, what? I don't even know what half these games are, but Starfield like has been internationally like panned as having the most derivative gameplay, I suppose. I've not played it, again, mind you. Some wild stuff was going on, I suppose, meta-wise between the community reaction and the developers on it or something. Like, didn't one of the lead developers just be like, making a game is really hard or something? You wouldn't understand. It was something very strange like that, and I read it and I was like, I mean, like, I guess, but people are still going to criticize it either way if they don't like it. That's kind of how it works. I've heard of some of these games. I don't know. Remnant, never played though. Shadow's Doubt, I've heard of. Shadow's Doubt is this game. It's the voxel detective game. Okay, that one I'm going to vote for because that looked really cool when I saw gameplay of it. What's this one? Like a border patrol? Russian border patrol game? Fair enough, I don't know. Your only move is hustle. I think I've seen this one, but I don't really remember it. Actually, maybe I haven't. I don't even know what's going on in it. But that looks pretty innovative. Best game you suck at? Overwatch 2. FIFA's on here, strangely. Street Fighter, Laws of a Fallen, Sifu. I've not played most of these. Street Fighter? That seems pretty reasonable. Best soundtrack. I've heard so many good things about Hi-Fi Rush's soundtrack. Chances Sonara's on here. That's the language deciphering sort of game, isn't it? Akin to, what's it called? The game I played? Heaven's Vault. I don't know. I think it's on my wish list. I should give it a try at some point. Oh yeah, the Outstanding Rich Story Award game just very much confused me. Baldur's Gate on here. Unsurprising. Resident Evil, probably fair enough. Star Wars, Liza P, okay, fair enough. But then there's Love Is All Around, this Chinese game. I can't even read it. Wandan wa Pime? What? Something Bao Guola. I think I read that wrong. What does it say in Chinese? Oh, that says, oh, that's new. I thought that said yo, and I was like, what? Thankfully, the lid was on it again. Oh my god. It's a good thing I replace the lid every single time. Dan, I'm surrounded by beauties. Wan Dan. Oh, what bay? What bay me? Me, you, Baoela. At least I'm surrounded by... I've never heard of this. Wait, okay, hold on. What bay? Does bay by itself mean surround? Quilt. Oh. I was going to say, I thought this means like duvet. But it can mean like covered by like a duvet. Menu. It's pretty woman. Baoela is wrapped completely. I know that. Wandan. I've never heard of Wandan before, isn't it? Yeah, Dan. Dan is an egg. Okay. I know, I have no idea why this is on here. I mean, not saying it's bad or anything, but I thought this was a meme game. Or just a visual sort of novel with pretty women in it. Pretty women. I don't know. The reviews are very meme. I'm not saying it is actually bad or anything, or it doesn't have a good story. I don't know. I haven't played it. But that was what I thought. Sit Back and Relax is also strange. I thought there'd be a lot more sort of like lo-fi chill-esque games. But David Dyer was on here, which is, you know, I thought a bit more intense, isn't it? I don't know. Coral Island? Yeah, like Greasel games, you know, like Stardew Valley-esque. Actually, Stardew Valley's not even on here, which is wild. I don't know, maybe they wanted to change it up and not have just repeat games. Or maybe these are only games which were released this year, / had an update this year? Except for Red Dead Redemption 2's randomly on here, I don't know. Just wild. Anyway, what's my game of the year? That's a good question. I don't actually know. I think it's probably Baldur's Gate 3, I'm going to be honest. It's a good game. I feel like everyone's personal game of the year is quite different. Because it shouldn't be defined by a game that was necessarily released this year, unless you're a game reviewer. It should be a game you played this year. Because the average person doesn't play games a year they come out, you know? Probably. Maybe that's my own justification for playing games like 10 years after they came out and are no longer popular. But it's just that sort of thing where it's like, you know, I should be judging a game that I was exposed to this year rather than one that was necessarily released this year. Because what games have I played which were released this year? Baldur's Gate 3, Lethal Company. I can't even think of any others. Honkai Star Rail, I guess. I actually can't think of any others. Is that it? I only have a series I'm playing right now. Were they released this year? No, I don't think so. Railbound was last year. Okami was like 2006 or something. What's the other game I'm playing right now? Oh, Goodbye Volcano High was this year, wasn't it? That's true. So I played like 4 games this year. I mean, I still say Baldur's Gate 3. Still game of the year for me. I absolutely adore playing it. Oh no! Just the way I was holding my hands there. Completely ruined the coating on one of them. It's probably one of the more annoying things I think about painting in this. Oh god! It's on the underside of my finger. Okay, let's grab a tissue. Ugh. Gotta clean that up. Don't stain the table. Yeah, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is my game of the year. That's probably what I think of. That's my game of the year objectively. And then Fun with Friends has got to be Lethal Company. Oh my god. I've made a right mess of this. Okay, it's not actually that messy, but it is a bit annoying. Because now it's like I painted my pinky so well, but pinky is always the easiest to paint because you can just do it in one swipe, but now I just completely ruined it. There we go, I covered it up. Doesn't look too bad. Did I put another coat on this? I actually don't remember. I'm going to assume I didn't. I'll put a very thin coat on just in case I did. I think I did. Actually, now I think about it. That's the thing, you don't want to put too much on. Because otherwise the colour will just be dented. Because it takes a while to dry. Yeah, this white nail polish, I've got to get a different one. This one's so watery. Like, it barely looks like I've even painted anything on, despite the fact I've done like 2 layers of this now. 3 layers, including a base coat. Oh, it's been 21 minutes. Okay, so I guess we'll round this episode off here, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's my discussion of Game of the Year. Baldur's Gate 3, unsurprising. But if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Adam Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.